Hello guys and welcome to SteveNews, where we're going to go over all that's been happening in the virtual reality space over this past week, and a lot has been happening. We've got some of the most anticipated games coming to the Oculus Quest, we've got new virtual reality tech, and just so much more. So I think enough chin wagging, because I've got a lot to go over. Let's get started. So let's kick this off with a game that could honestly be the best horror action title on the Oculus Quest system, even though it's not on the official store. It's a tried and tested game that is only $3.99 on Steam, and it's Doom 3. But you can play this in virtual reality. Bumza and Dr. Beef and their team have been working away to bring this title to the Oculus Quest, after they've had hits with things such as Half-Life Alyx, Doom, and Wolfenstein. Doom 3 is probably the least craziest of the Dooms. It has a more creepier approach to the franchise, but it still brings great carnage. You will need to sideload this game onto the Oculus Quest headset, with the instructions available on the website below. I'll put a link in the description so you can follow all of the steps to play this. You may have seen Mattieu and myself talking about this game on the live stream as well, talking about how virtual reality games, maybe it's a good route to go to bring games that we've played before, games that we've loved, games that already exist in the pancake or flat screen form, and bring them to virtual reality. It might help push VR to even more success. So it's a fun topic. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. What do you think about that statement? Please leave a comment down below. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Now guys, I am bringing you such good news, and news that's just around the corner. It's not very long until this game is actually released. We have got a release date for the game GORN coming to the Oculus Quest. Those that don't know, GORN must be one of the most requested games on the Oculus Quest behind Minecraft. Every time a video is posted, it's comments, where's GORN? Is GORN coming out? Where's GORN? It's finally here, guys. The studio tweeted out saying GORN releases on the Oculus Quest on January 28th, with some crazy explanation marks going nuts at the end of it, because they can hardly believe this is actually happening. And for those that are not aware, GORN is a very, very brutal gladiator arena title. It's very violent and gory, but it has a cartoony animation, which makes the brutality a bit more playful, rather than just making you wince at how intense it is. In the game, you're in an arena and you just kind of kill people, and explaining it like that, it just doesn't sound very fun. But there is a reason there is hype for this game. There is a reason everyone is excited, and I'm really pumped to try this out soon. Next is a new feature coming to the Oculus Quest, probably the most demanded feature on the Oculus feedback page, and this is the ability to have multiple user accounts on a single headset, and the ability to share apps across accounts. So if the device is a family unit, it doesn't have to be tied to a single account, because that becomes very, very painful when a lot of you want to game on the Oculus Quest and you don't have multiple accounts, because most games don't have save slots, and you probably don't want anyone progressing your game or ruining your progress or your statistics on a multiplayer. Apparently this feature is coming next month after a blog post that Oculus put up on their website, and it states, with these features, the primary account holder will be able to add secondary accounts to their Oculus device. And this gives them the ability to share apps that they have purchased across these secondary accounts. Not only will this enable safe sharing, but game progress and achievements will be personalized and saved separately from each account. This feature will be rolled out as an experimental feature, so if you guys get this, you get the update and you want to enable it, go to settings, go to the experimental features, and there'll be a button there for you to enable it. So there are two parts to this feature. The first is that will be rolling out first is the ability to add 3 more secondary accounts to your Oculus Quest, and something we can expect them to do further on down the road is the ability to app share across 3 devices, not accounts, devices, and apparently it works by a primary account being logged in to multiple headsets. Then it can share its library with secondary accounts, but the additional accounts, the secondary accounts, can't app share with the primary. So this would mean that yourself and some close friends, if you organize it in a way, can share a game library to some degree, but Facebook, they've clearly thought about how to minimize that loss of purchases of software sales, as you'll need a friend to be logged into all of the headsets and be the primary account in order to share those games. But fingers crossed you can launch the same app simultaneously on each account as well, so you can play online with each other with only one purchase of the game, because that would be fantastic, especially for those that can't afford to keep buying virtual reality games all the time. So this is rolling out on the 13th of February, and although I am happy to see this here, there is always that angle that Facebook actually needed to push and drive this to maintain clean data on each of our persons. Because if my family are using my Oculus Quest account, then that data from the headset doesn't represent myself, and it will skew Facebook's analytics. So think about if you want to enable this feature for that reason, or you just want to share an account so that personal information that's being gathered isn't going to be accurate. Just as a heads up. And since we're on the topic of Oculus Quest features, and we now know that Facebook will be doing monthly updates to their ecosystem, I want to reiterate something. That we could see the non-official Oculus Quest store coming very, very soon. As early as my prediction is going to be March. As early as March. Because I don't think they're going to roll out multiple huge updates at once, and we already have February catered for with this multiple accounts. And although I am speculating, it's just because Mr. Bosworth from Reality Lab said the Oculus Quest non-official store, as I'm calling it, the non-official store, it will be here sooner than you think. So please comment down below on this. Would you like to see this store? Because I know it has its merits, but then there are some concerns that we're now letting a virtual reality monopoly govern another side of our virtual reality experiences that currently they don't really have a say in. So please comment down below, let me know your thoughts. So CES has been on, you may have seen some videos popping up, some virtual reality tech is going crazy at this event, and it's nice to see what's coming for us, what are they working upon, what advancements are being made, and there are some nice cheeky topics that I want to share with you. So we have some insights into some virtual reality haptics that have been revealed at CES 2021 from a company called SenseGlove, with the product itself called the SenseGlove Nova. Designed for the wearer to feel objects and impact of forces feeling stuff in your hands in the virtual world, and it also allows you to feel resistance that could help deepen the immersion. And of course, this kind of thing has great advantages in virtual reality training in the business industry, which sadly is what this device is going to be used for. It's not a consumer product. The product is marketed at a nice $5,000, which apparently is a low price. They did provide details on how the technology works as well, and it's really, really interesting. Such as there are mechanical wires attached to magnetic friction brakes that offer 20 newtons of force across each of your fingers. This can create that feeling of resistance, and for impact they use a voice coil, which is often seen in stereo speakers. And they also have actuators that can vibrate in the fingertips to replicate touch of certain surfaces. Shipping of these gloves will begin in March, and I look forward to seeing some videos, some hands-on videos on YouTube of people trying out these bad boys, because they look like they're straight from Ready Player One. I do want to take a second to report on a story that highlights virtual reality's awesome achievements in 2020. It's got some huge AAA virtual reality titles that's a first for VR, like Half-Life Alyx. The Quest was released, it made virtual reality affordable, and mixed that with lockdown, people got curious about virtual reality, and Steam VR saw 1.7 million new virtual reality users in 2020. That is a huge increase for this infant industry, so well done guys, that is great news. And that doesn't include people that are gaming without a PC and using Steam VR, like just Quest owners. Over the year, there was 104 virtual reality gaming sessions averaging 32 minutes per play session, and 71% more in software sales. So it's great to see that this industry that we love is getting more attention, and I welcome all of you new gamers to virtual reality. These virtual reality goggles are back, and I think they are probably the coolest steampunk looking virtual reality goggles around, and they're from Panasonic. These did pop up last year, and they've come back to CES with some pretty decent improvements. This is apparently the first HDR high definition virtual reality goggles that contain Technic audio drivers and Lumix digital cameras, which funnily enough is the camera I'm using right now. A big change from last year's model are the arms on the frame, because previously last year they were just like arms on a normal pair of spectacles that you can get from Specsavers, but now they have a more functional design that looks like it will hold itself in place and cup the back of the skull behind the ear, doing a much better job at weight distribution. Because compared to the rest of the glasses, the rest of the goggles, the eye part must be extremely heavy and weigh a lot. There are no more earbuds in this design as well, it's now got integrated audio, and I think that's wise, to create a product that is going to be as cool and light and non-intrusive as possible. There also has two built-in cameras, as we already mentioned, and the most interesting part about this tech for me are the dual screens, because they are 2.6K each micro OLED displays. They are so tiny, and they still manage to be dense enough for close to no screen door effect, if any. So I'm sure there's going to be an impressive price tag to match this impressive device. So these goggles are to connect to your mobile device with a 5G connection, so this is going to be a 2-in-1 piece of kit, which perfectly leads me on to my next story, which is HTC's prediction for 2021 progress. There has been a statement from Graham Wheeler of HTC predicting that we can expect to see in this space over the coming year or two, and I think I agree with what he thinks. It's going to be the rise of 2-in-1 devices, and he said, the leading processors in smartphones are now very, very impressive, and they're capable of powering virtual reality viewers. So we expect to see the rise of all-in-2 devices, lightweight glasses, which are to be connected to a smartphone, meaning powerful smartphones using 5G can drive XR experiences. And if they feel this way, perhaps it's not long until we see more on their 2-in-1 device, the Proton that they hinted at last year, a 6DOF virtual reality headset that's going to be powered by a phone. And there's also a standalone version as well that is supposed to compete against the Quest. And this would definitely be the year to do it. We need some competition in this space. Fingers crossed. I know HTC can do it. They just kind of need to nail their inside-out tracking. So in my previous video, I did touch on a headset called the Nolo. That was announced to be revealed at CES 2021, and we now have more information on this headset. And it's pretty interesting because it's supposed to be a cloud virtual reality solution. It's an interesting take, but one that I am very skeptical about, because first, let's go over some other things and then I'll dive into why I'm skeptical. So this is a 6DOF cloud virtual reality headset called the X1, and it's only going to cost $200, which is okay, a great price point, but let's keep going. It contains the Nolo N2 mobile chipset. It will use Nolo CV1 Pro motion tracking, and it will use a 5G or an internet connection to play virtual reality games in the cloud. They do say that this is not expected to be a replacement for high-end virtual reality gaming, but perhaps closer to the Oculus Quest experience. It's also claiming to be able to play Steam VR games such as Half-Life Alyx from the cloud to your mobile phone. There are some hurdles I can't seem to shake off with this though, such as people's internet connections need to be reliable and fast enough, they need enough bandwidth. They're also going to need a mobile provider that supports 5G and has an interest in virtual reality mobile cloud projects. And the latency for cloud gaming has always been an issue, even for flat screen games. And latency is even more important in virtual reality titles, and it's more noticeable. So how is a connection to the cloud, which is going to be using a wide area network connection, going to deal with that? I am skeptical. Perhaps this is a device that's before its time, but I do like the way these people are thinking, because all media currently can be streamed. It's just the natural progression for virtual reality too, so let's see. I'm skeptical, I don't have high hopes, but let's see. So this is a story that I did touch on when talking about the new features coming to the Oculus Quest. It's been a long time since we've seen an update for the Oculus Quest. It was pretty much since the launch of the Oculus Quest 2 when version 23 rolled out, which was months ago. If you're like me, then you liked the previously frequent rollouts. It was exciting. What improvements have we got? What updates have we got? It got me excited about my headset again. Well, recently John Carmack took to Twitter and said we are making it a priority in the new year to engage a lot more with the Quest's user voice. It still needs a bunch of updates at the moment, but this is the right place to voice your thoughts on the Quest and Quest 2. And they provided a link which takes you to a forum of suggestions for improvements, things that you would like to see happen in the Oculus Quest ecosystem. You can upvote suggestions that you believe to be valid and you agree with. And funnily enough, removing Facebook's logging is one of the highest voted, and I have to agree. He then continued with, we are striving towards monthly software releases, so there will be many opportunities for software features to roll in. The lead for hardware changes is measured in years, so don't expect too much movement there. The latter statement gives me some peace of mind that we're not going to see a Quest 3 this year, perhaps next year. They're going to give us a year or two enjoying this piece of kit before bringing us a new one. But nice to see that we're going to have a voice about what updates we want, and hopefully we'll see them in the monthly rolling update. So please comment down below your thoughts on this and go put a suggestion in, go vote for something. So that's it from me today, guys. Thanks for watching to the end of the video, getting caught up on the week's virtual reality news. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be here every weekend bringing you the updates that have occurred over the past week. So thanks to my patrons, you absolute legends. Happy gaming, guys. Good day.